Joining me to discuss the future of HP's PC business is the man who runs it, Executive Vice President Todd Bradley. He's with us now live from Mountain View. Todd, welcome back to the show. Great to have you today.
Thanks, Emily. It's good to be here.
All right, so let's talk about this decision. HP has decided that spinning off the business would be too costly for a lot of reasons. But over the long term, is it best to keep the PC business? What's the long-term value of it to HP?
Well, look, I think the long-term value is not any segment of Hewlett-Packard, but the combination of the parts. The ability to provide customers, from individual consumers to Fortune 50 companies, a broad technology solution that meets their needs, be that made up of PCs, servers, printers, software, the broad spectrum of products that we offer. So the opportunity is the consolidation of the parts, which I think we've clearly deeply analyzed at this point.
Now, Todd, you yourself have said that competition in the PC business is brutal. Margins are low. And even analysts are saying today, look, this may be the decision right now, but perhaps not over the long term. ISI saying, we believe keeping PSG inside HP is appropriate given the state of the company currently. In 3 to 5 years, though, we hope the company sells the group to focus on enterprise infrastructure. How do you respond to that, Todd?
Look, I wouldn't respond to that. We've done an enormous amount of work over the last 60 days looking at the broad spectrum of our capabilities. We've taken input from customers from New York to Shanghai. And I think it's clear. We had 18 work streams with over 100 people completing a very detailed analysis of revenue, of cost, of synergies, of dyssynergies, of opportunities to spin or retain. And I think it's clear we've made the decision. We've made the right decision. We've done it quickly. We've done it aggressively. And I'm sure lots of analysts will have lots of opinions, but the facts clearly support the decision that Meg and the executive team recommended to our board earlier this week.
How about this Moody's review, Todd? Is the cost of keeping the PC business going to make it harder for HP to borrow money?
Look, I'm just not qualified to respond to that. I think we'll work on that over the next week, and I'm sure Kathy Leschek will get with our investors and talk through those various scenarios.
Okay, so let's talk about tablets. You and Meg said yesterday that HP is very much still in the tablet market, though the touchpad, as we know it, is gone. What would you like to do better next time around? Is it a pricing thing? Is it an apps thing? Is it a features thing?
Well, I think it's a combination of things. I think tablets are one segment in a very large personal computing platform. I think tablets, and specifically WebOS, have very unique capabilities. What we did was stop making WebOS tablets. We're continuing to invest in WebOS software. In fact, last week we refreshed with a recent update of that software for the over 1 million users that have WebOS products today. So, our next focus, now that we've resolved the questions around the PC industry, the PC business, frankly, excuse me, is to determine how we'll best utilize WebOS and those great software assets that we have. I mean, clearly, the accolades for the operating system are broadly known. Clearly, there are, business model issues that we're working on and we'll get through. I think a company of our scale and our scope looks at these opportunities all the time. I think the other thing, going back to some of your questions on the PC business, is as we looked at the drivers to the business, frankly, the return on invested capital becomes a very, very important piece of the value broadly that PSG brings to Hewlett-Packard. We're a relatively capital-light business. We use very little capital as it relates to the return that we generate on that capital. So our return on invested capital is very, very good.
You guys have obviously made a big investment in WebOS already, but as you say, you guys still have questions about it. We're seeing a report today that HP is considering shutting the division down completely. What should we make of that?
I think you should make of that as a unfounded rumor. Our
So
focus
Meg,
is our focus with WebOS is how we effectively utilize that phenomenal software and the phenomenal talent that we have in that piece of our business.
That said, top-level staff are leaving the WebOS unit, and Meg Whitman said yesterday that you guys would be making a decision about it in the next couple of months. Are you leaning one way or another in terms of deciding the future of WebOS?
Well, I'm leaning the same way I leaned in our PC business. I lean to get all the information, all the data we can, and make the right decision.
One thing we're seeing, obviously, is a blending in terms of consumer and enterprise technology. How does HP best take advantage of that trend going forward?
Well, I think the consumerization of IT is a broad phenomena that we see across our businesses. You know, different CIOs have different approaches to how we deploy technology. And I think the best approach is one that we've taken, one to meet both consumer and enterprise needs across a broad spectrum of go-to-market capabilities with a broad spectrum of products. You know, of the many things that we work on every day, innovation and design are at the top of our list and ones that we need to stay laser focused on. You know, I would say we're good, but we need to continue to improve in those areas, and we will. You know, whether you look at tablets or you look at the new ultra-mobile notebooks that are coming onto the market, all very important segments for growth on top of a strong platform of desktops, all-in-ones, notebooks, and workstations that we have today.
I do want to ask you quickly what it's been like to work with Meg Whitman, the new CEO. Sounds like she's working very much in tandem with the executive chairman, Ray Lane. What are their individual strengths, and how do you see them complementing each other?
Well, look, I think what's most important is that Meg and the executive team have worked very closely together over the past 5 weeks to make the decision around PSG, make the right decision broadly for HP and for our customers. So I think she brings a great set of skills and talents to our business, to our industry, and I think we all look forward to working with her and making HP even more successful than it's been.
Would you describe it as more of a co-CEO model, Todd?
No, I think Meg and Ray have been very clear about how they work together, and you know, I'm not gonna add any color to that. I think they're both exceptional executives and both focus on what's right for HP and our customers and our shareholders and our employees.
Okay, Todd Bradley, Executive Vice President at HP. Thanks so much for joining us.